What's up everybody, Jack here from Half Grown. Today I've got something that I'm really excited about because this is super unique. This is the Insta360 Go, and this tiny little thing is a camera, and if you are a drone person or you are a creator, you need one of these. Look at how tiny it is. It's like 18 grams and you can put it on pretty much anything and it does awesome stabilization, right? This thing is phenomenal. You can turn it all the way upside down and it'll completely stabilize that image if you want it to. But there's also a really unique way to capture footage with this camera and a drone. So we've done some pretty fun things with this. Stay tuned and you'll learn more. All right, so this little camera is super easy to use. You just push a button and it starts recording right away. Now you can change the settings and how it works, and there's an app that's actually pretty darn intuitive that you'll also use to edit your footage. But first, let's talk about things I don't like about it. One, it only has a single microphone, and that's kind of disappointing. It doesn't sound terrible, but it's not really that great either. We'll listen to that here. So this is the Insta360 Go, tiny little camera, and it has some pretty awesome stabilization. So I'm gonna move from my backyard and we're gonna take this thing for a little walk. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pause myself here. Now that first clip I rendered using the computer. I'm gonna switch over to the app, which has more functionality, but I don't think the quality is quite as nice. Let's have a look. So this is the Insta360 Go, tiny little camera, and it has some pretty awesome stabilization. So I'm gonna move from my backyard and we're gonna take this thing for a little walk. So we're gonna switch back to the computer here so you can compare it again. We're gonna go on my bike, see how it does there. All right, I'm gonna freeze me one more time and switch back to the app. I just feel like it's a little grainier, yeah? We're gonna go on my bike, see how it does there. So this is editing in the app, and there's a reason why I have to edit in the app. You can do cool things. Look at this, the barrel roll on my bike. Obviously, I didn't spin my bike around, but this is a 180-degree camera. So if I want to kind of check out the field of view, I can do that. I can look up, right? I can look down. I can look to the side. Now you saw a little bit of artifacting there. That's right, the limit of the camera. But this camera does some really cool things just inside the app. Now, when we get to the flow state stabilization with the FPV drone, that is where the magic happens. It was actually meant to capture 30-second clips. That's because it gets pretty warm. Now, with the new firmware, you can record up to 5 minutes in FPV mode. That's right. They're thinking of us drone pilots, but they recommend that you have it on a drone if you're going to record for that long because it gets hot and the airflow will help. Now, it comes with this little case, which is really about the size of my AirPods case, and it just magnetically sits in there. And then I just connect it to my iPhone. Now it does also connect to Android phones, and you can connect it to your computer and use software on your computer to kind of cut and change some things as well. I found the software on the computer to be a little bit glitchy. Now I'm using Windows. Maybe that's different for you Mac users. I'm not sure. Either way, there are some limitations editing with the app on your phone because when it exports, it doesn't export at a super high quality. It does export much better on the computer, so there is that drawback. But you also don't have the full editing access that you would with your phone. So there's gives and takes with each one. Now you get a bunch of accessories with this. This is a little clip I can put on my headband or hat. This is actually a really nice accessory. I put this on, I stick it under my shirt, and then it'll connect here magnetically, which is really cool. There are a lot of different ways that you can connect this. They give you some different connectors, but all right, so here's what I suggest you do. You take some carbon fiber drone arms because they're both sturdy and strong, and then you mount one of these holders to that. Now, I highly recommend you grab a couple of zip ties to make sure it stays in place in case you crash. I may have figured that one out through experience, but then it kind of sits like that, and then you can attach it to your quad in the back, and you get a really cool perspective third-person view, so you can see the drone flying around. And there's a couple of different ways you can stabilize it. You can stabilize it like you would normal FPV footage, and then the horizon is rolling the way that you see it as you fly. Or you can stabilize it with their flow stabilization, and then the horizon stays fixed, and then the drone rolls, which is super cool. We also did something a little different, and we mounted it to the front of our drone. I actually put this on the Hubsan Zeno 2 like this, and then I flew the drone so then you can see the horizon behind the drone. Another unique thing, and then, I pitched it back and forth so you can see the gimbal move, and the drone's going crazy, and the horizon stays fixed. Some really neat footage that you can capture with one of these. This tiny little camera isn't perfect, but it is awesome and something that I highly recommend if you're into drones or you're into creating content, because you can do some really unique stuff with these. I'm really hoping that Insta360 updates the software on the computer, because I like what I can do on my phone, but I'd like the ability to do that on my computer because I want to export it and have it looking nicer, right? I want the quality that comes from the computer rendering rather than coming out of my phone, right? The phone is nice and easy, and if you're watching on a smartphone, you probably won't know the difference, right? So if you're creating content for Instagram or TikTok, totally fine. But for YouTube and other video content where, you could be watching on a bigger screen, then you're probably going to want to use that software on the computer. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. If it was, hey, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty of content, whether it's FPV or photography. We got you covered. Hey, thanks for watching. Good luck and happy flying.